At Simba Telecom, I started as a DSD associate where I used to track bikes, know more about my career, how to relate with people, customer service. What keeps me coming back with the same energy every day is because I have a purpose in life. Working with my team has been a great experience. They're very supportive, they're very friendly, and they're willing to teach you. I was mostly excited about working at Skies because that's where I was stationed, because DSDs are the pivot of this business. So supervising their performance, mapping their agents, and making sure that we hit all our KPIs as per the MTN targets. Hi, my name is Sabrina Nawakoza, data analyst, Simba Telecom. I joined Simba Group in August 2022, and I think I'm making 3 years now. I applied for the graduate training program because I needed to up my skills, know more about my career, how to relate with people, customer service, and everything to do with that. When I joined as a trainee, I loved the environment. My beginning was really friendly. I loved everything here and I didn't find any problems. I was mostly excited about working at Skies because that's where I was stationed. I loved everything about here, and I also had a friend I was going to work with. I was working with Irene, a colleague, who initiated me into the environment, what I was supposed to do, how we're supposed to do it, and everything. Some of the most important lessons and skills I learned, the most important one was customer care, because in my training program, I was given a task of calling agents to get to know the feedback from them, if they're being serviced, if they have any issues, and I would relate to that, and it helped me so much. Another skill that I learned was interpersonal skills. I learned how to relate with people, to be patient with them, and to understand where they're coming from, and also make sure that they also understand where I'm coming from, and we have a normal ground. I had one mentor, my HR, Mr. Hussein Kavugo, our group HR. He mentored me, he believed in me, and would always tell me that I can do it and I can be so much more than I am. And that really pushed me to who I am right now. And I'm so appreciative for that. During my training program, I learned several skills that enabled me get the administrative assistant opportunity. I had learned several skills. Besides the office skills, I had learned how to engage with people. I had learned being attentive to detail. I had learned how to be precise and do all my work on point. So I also had someone who believed in me so much, so that pushed me to going way above my imaginations and my abilities. So this all enabled me to hit the administrative assistant opportunity, and I believe that made me believe that I was the right candidate for it. The administrative assistant position honestly pushed me to who I am right now, because it's from there that I learned so much. I learned more computer work. I learned to deal with people so much. I learned to always meet my deadlines, and that has enabled me to be who I am and be very clean at what I do. In 2023, I transitioned from Simba Group to to Simba Telecom, and that to me meant everything because it was the beginning of a new journey, the beginning of a new life, a new career, a new everything. My experience there was so good. The team I worked with was welcoming, they were supportive, and they were willing to teach me everything that I didn't know. At Simba Telecom, I started as a DSD associate, where I used to track bikes because DSDs have tools of trade and some of those are bikes. So we had a system that I used to track them, share their performance, get feedback from the DSDs, their agents, what they need and the challenges they're facing. So yeah, I was basically like the customer care support system while also supporting the company with everything they needed. As a DSD associate, I used a tracking system to track the bikes. These bikes had specific routes where they're supposed to be, and my role was to make sure that the DSD is en route during working hours, and if it's past working hours, they should have parked their bikes. And I also would share hourly reports and end of day reports to show how much distance these bikes have moved, if they were en route or not, and I would report that back to my superiors. So through all that, I learned more about data analysis, its interpretation, and more Excel skills that pushed me into the data analyst job that I'm doing right now. The experience that stands out the most for me in the DSD associate role was basically dealing with different people because, like I said, I had to get feedback from agents to know whether the DSDs are servicing them as they should. And we have DSDs throughout the country. We have some in Barara, we have Kavale, we have Bushenyi, and we have Chiruhura. And being stationed in Kampala means I'm not so familiar with the language. So sometimes you would call an agent and you have a challenge of language barrier. But being able to navigate a communication with them really stood out for me because I had to learn how to communicate to them in a language they would understand so that I get to listen to them and also provide solutions while also keeping the cause of the company at the back of my mind. Data analysis involves collecting, organizing, and examining data to put it into useful information that later impacts decision making. What I like about data is the information it puts out that later helps in problem solving, understanding different patterns, and also decision making, like I said. A typical day for me at work, I clock into office and provide the first report at 7:45 a.m. That shows whether or not all DSDs have received float on their lines for MTN to track them. Thereafter, we have a report we receive from MTN, a rebalancing report that shows DSD performances, how much commission they've accumulated, their route servicing performances, and all that. So I provide such reports on a daily to the DSDs, and then thereafter I provide a report from the portal showing their performances throughout the day, every hour, for them to track their performance within the 8 hours in the day. So my day ends with an end of day performance report that shows all DSDs how many uniques they've provided to us in the day, how much float they've rebalanced, how many times they've rebalanced every agent and all that. Working as a data analyst at Simba Telecom involves three things. I compute DSD commissions, how much they earn at the end of the month. I provide them with visibility for their performance every day, every hour, every end of month, weekly, depends. And lastly, I also work on their database. DSDs have specific routes. Right now, we have 161 DSDs across the country. That is in Central, Kabale, Bushen, Barara, and Chiruhura. And all these DSDs have specific routes they have to service and specific agents mapped on those particular routes. So my role as a data analyst is I compile all their agents and make sure that the right agents they are servicing are what are mapped onto them. What I enjoy most about my job is dealing with people and learning to know that we are all made differently. Like I said, I deal with 161 DSDs across the country. Secondly, I enjoy dealing with numbers because they give me a thrill, the formulas, everything, turning something that is very complicated into the simplest thing that everyone can understand really gives me that thrill. Working with my team has been a great experience. They're very supportive, they're very friendly, and they're willing to teach you so that you learn and unlearn everything and anything. My work as a data analyst influences our earnings from our main partner, MTN, because DSDs are the pivot of this business. So supervising their performance, mapping their agents, and making sure that we hit all our KPIs as per the MTN targets really helps in how much commission we are supposed to receive from MTN. Every day when I give these DSDs their performance, they get to know how much more they're supposed to push, service all their agents on route, map those that are not mapped. And at the end of it all, my work has helped the company to maximize earnings from our main partner, MTN. And this helps them into making decisions on how to motivate staff, whether or not to increase our salaries. My role involves analyzing DSD performances and sharing it to them. So at the end of the day, the company knows which routes bring in more commission, which DSDs service all their agents and not, how we're supposed to support them, which routes need more float depending on how much they are bringing in at the end of the month. And all that helps them into decision making. So from the various reports that I submit to my bosses, that's where they decide on how to motivate the DSDs, how to handle the challenges they are going through. Sabrina outside work is an indoor person. I love to watch movies. I love to grab a book and maybe sleep. I sleep for a living. One advice I would give a graduate out there who wants to start a career with Simba Group is to just do it. Do it when scared. Do it when you're not ready. Because here, they'll teach you, they'll groom you, they'll motivate you, and you'll appreciate it. You will learn so much more than you can ever imagine and become the best person you can ever be in this world. Looking back from my graduate training program to a data analyst right now, one thing I'm so proud of is how my life and career have changed. Recently, I was doing my random check-ins with my HR. He asked how I was. I told him I'm doing very good. And he said he could say it. And this time, out of the so many check-ins I had done with him, I meant it. Life for me at Simba Telecom has been great. I have learned. I am financially stable, I am self-sufficient, and in my career, I have learned so much. I plan on going back to school to upgrade, so I become even more overqualified than I am right now. So looking back, I was a very timid and non-confident person. And when I was talking to my HR, she said, "You're different." I asked why? Why do you think I'm different? He said, "You're so different from the person I picked up in the lobby so many years ago." And it really hit me so hard because I am really, really different from the person I was. I have grown and I'm so grateful. What keeps me coming back with the same energy every day is because I have a purpose in life. I have people who believe in me. I have responsibilities, and I also want to see me become a better person in life. I also love what I do. The environment at work, my bosses. Our boss is called the Mother General, and we usually call her for everything and anything. So she solves all our problems. We are fully motivated at work. So, what's there not to come back for? I'm planning on upgrading my education, and in the future within the Simba Telecom ecosystem, I see myself as the business analyst, sitting on the board that makes the decisions, improves staff's welfare, motivates them, finds out their challenges, and all those things. So I will by then not be dealing with only data, but so much more that impacts the business at large. My last remarks to everyone watching is to believe in yourself. Sometimes it's very hard because you're procrastinating. You think you cannot do it, or you think you'll do it later, but tomorrow may never come. Do it now, do it scared, do it anyway. That's all I can tell you.